Yo, what's up, guys? Today we are opening up the world of Ching Yi 33, one of my favorite artists. And yeah, let's just get into it. Let's get the zoom going. You know what's up. Let's start with the style and flavor. Style and flavor because this person is so flavorful. This is a flavorful artist. Really, really good at just creating these neon lit backdrops. It really feels like candy paint. It feels venomous when you're checking it out. Look at how the limbs are just tearing through this image and how the foreshortening technique, foreshortening when something's reaching towards you, is going so damn hard on this image, bro. It's too sick. I even like the stars. Very, very Y2K era. Very, very reminiscent of when I was growing up. The color schemes on these are so sick, bro. You can't tell me nothing about these color schemes. Very bright neon accents. The colors they saying sangria, booty blue, ocean green, and wild strawberry. These colors hit a very different way. I love the style of the art itself. It's got a very Studio Ghibli energy to it. You know what I'm saying? This looks like Miyazaki's work. When you see Miyazaki's work on Studio Ghibli, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, this is what the feeling was like. But what Cheng Yi has managed to do is like technify it, bring it up into 2025, make it cyber. I love it. I absolutely love it. Look at this dragon. This is so alive. Alive is my favorite word. We're using that all 2025. Get in the comments if you like the word alive. All right, so anyway, this dragon has got so much flair, so much flavor. Look at like the movement. The movement is the main thing in this image that makes it so vibrant for me, because not only is the S curve of the dragon really just cutting through the canvas and really just making an elegant kind of, I don't want to say feng shui. It's not feng shui. It's elegant. It's, let me think. And I find the word for this. It makes me feel like a Maybach. Like the interior of a Maybach. When I see the way this dragon curves, it feels like the steering of a Maybach drifting on those mountain ranges. You see when they show you that ad of a car like going down a mountain range, it looks like that. It reminds me of that. This is really beautiful. And then the energy of all of the hairs just going sideways. It feels dragged. It's like a glitch effect. Like, when your TVs wouldn't work in the 2000s, when your cable was cutting and the signal started glitch marshing on the screen. It kind of looks like a glitch marsh where everything's pulling to the side. Smudge brush on Photoshop settings. You know what I'm saying? Really, really elegant, beautiful work. So what I love about Ching Yi 33 is that the works engage with you. So much of his works where the characters just engage or suck you in. And if they don't engage with you or suck you in, the scenery always feels like maybe something you shouldn't be observing. Let me find an example of that. Yeah, just like a very mythical scene. Something you shouldn't really be seeing right now. Like you are invading. Sometimes you even have like a god's eye perspective on what's going on. You like have the view of a god looking down at this world. But still, like, this world engages and it's alive and it happens with or without you. These characters exist with or without you. And that's what makes it so damn cool to me. Look at this one. Dog, I love this one so much. You know what I like about this as well? Look at these gold, like cockroach looking type, are these deities? And it's all mixed media. So this is like 3D. This one's 3D. And then you've got the hair, all illustrated. And then the backdrop looks more painted than the hair, in a sense. So everything looks mixed media. And some of it looks like paint. Some of it looks like, pencil or crayon kind of art. You know what I'm saying? Ching Yi 33 is very good at doing that and bringing things to life. Even things like just this earring, this orange earring, somewhat centered in the frame. It's not really the main focus of the picture. If I had to pick a main focus of the picture, I'd say it's around here. You know, we do like to see the face, but this, even though there's nothing really pointing to this in the image, right? Ain't nothing pointing to that. Once you notice it, it really just brings more energy to the image. And because of that energy, it slaps. I don't know if what I'm saying is gonna penetrate y'all the way pause. Penetrate y'all the way it's penetrating me. Pause. Pause. Yo. Snake Pattern's really good at doing that. Really good at like these painted backdrops, and I just love the color palettes. I think the color palettes on this are so distinct. Like if I had to bring a color palette, let's see if I can do that. What is this color's name? Cecil. It's a Sal. Alright. So I like the fact that these colors and this art style blend so well together. There's also the green on the canvas. Just imagine there's another block with like the ocean. Let's bring the ocean green from here. Already got it. Yes. You see what I'm saying? Chingy 33 is really good at bringing vibe and composing colors. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. All right, so themes and motifs. So in the works of Chingy 33, we get this really cool mix of Western aesthetic meets. So in Chingy 33's work, we get this really cool feeling that the West is clashing with the East. So you get Western futurism mixing with like ancient Eastern visuals, and it creates a very surreal, very unique kind of aesthetic. Look at this dragon just arcing and the character in the center. But the blade itself, even though this is all Eastern, the blade itself looks very sci-fi Western. You hear me? This ain't no katana. This isn't a katana. This is very Western blade. And even the way the hair is composed, I love the stars in the background. It helps bring the composition together. There's like this triangulation of the sky elements, and what this does as well with the stars going down is that it really helps frame all of this. You got this frame here, and then in that frame this dragon is helping with another frame. So it's a circle within a rectangle, and it's framing this guy who also is built like a circle in a rectangle. So it's a cascade of shapes. This is also placating to the star formation, the mountains. And yeah, it's a convoluted mess of brilliance. So yeah, shout out to Chingy 33. So again, a lot of the works got that Western, Eastern clash vibe coming. Some of it feels like a toy box, you know, you look like you looking into a toy box. It's got that nostalgia to it where all of these items and little things like fish bowls bring you back to a certain part of your life where these things were relevant. You know, video games, if you look here, there's a certain level of nostalgia. This reminds me of the Super Mario first level. It's very, very, very reminiscent of the first level of Super Mario Brothers, the 95, you know. I'm not even sure if it's the 95 version, but everyone knows the classic Super Mario version. I love how the attention of his gaze is just going off of the camera, but we're forced to focus on him. And look at just, you know, again, we're getting more dragon symbolism. I don't know what this thing is. It looks like a Mewtwo or a Mew from Pokemon. There's pixies. There's a pixie in his hand. There's old pixies and a whole sort of assortment of different creatures, houses that are just a little bit too small for people to fit in. They look like hobbit houses. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. That's what I want to say about all of this, bro. It's tight. You know, this thing is tight. I love the work of Chingy 33 because the worlds exist with or without you. This looks like a photo was taken. In fact, look at the camera blur there of the dog. Very smart. So you can tell this is very mixed medium. Some of it looks sketched and drawn like on real paper. Some of it looks really, really digital and synthetic like the floor. And of course, the photoshopped element, like the dog blurring, is a photoshopped element. Look at this water just spreading across this floor. All encompassing. It's all brilliant and very, very bright, very alive. 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 Yo, I gotta chill. All right, so let's get themes and motifs. Just to sum up with the themes and motifs: toy box feeling, nostalgia, clash of Eastern and Western world, very futuristic sci-fi, slender figures. The characters, very slender figured characters, very Studio Ghibli, like I've said, style in terms of the art. Those are the themes and motifs, and a world that narrates and lives through itself. Lots of elements stacking together to build a concept, build meaning as stacked imagery. This is not minimalism, this is maximalism, and I speak on that. I told you guys, I love when it's chaotic, man. Chaotic art makes you think and your interpretations can change on it. It would be cool for me to like go painting by painting and break down the themes, but we won't have time to do it for every painting. So I've already prepared concept breakdowns. Hey, we prepared. All right. So this one, I believe the hole in the chest with the natural landscape represents a want and a desire in the heart and the soul, the core of the person, for nature, a bringing back of nature. And you can see the flowers in the background. I love the way the gradient flows from a white here up until the blue. And look at those elephant earrings. This is such a powerful work, and I'd say that this is one of Chingy33's most internet identifiable pieces of work. You've probably seen this before if you're on my channel, but it's also just really sick. You know what I'm saying? And then we have this one. This concept I found to be so sick because you've got all of the different emotions of this character. You've got sad, you've got kind of despondent, you've got a little bit of happiness, a little bit of troll energy, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of sneaky slyness, and then you've got a shocked, maybe more angry kind of reaction. But all of these emotions overlap, and then in the negative red space of the image, which is around here, we see a figure formed by the negative space of the overlap of these characters. And this figure happens to be this character. So I found that to be really cool, very, very smart, and it shows the level of artistry we're dealing with. We're dealing with someone who can craft concepts like this super, super easily and put everything together. So yeah, I want to move to the next one. I don't want to over-interpret it. You can interpret it the way you want. I'm not going to force my interpretations onto you. But there are times where he explains the work. So he said, the child is represented by a flower bud, the middle-aged person by the flourishing plant, and the elderly woman by a withered flower. As for the eye, I intended it to symbolize external forces interfering with the self. All right, so in conclusion, all of the flowers that we see are placed here. The withering flower here, the plant that's growing, and the small little bloom of a bud here coming out of a worm flower pot that looks like Caterpie from Pokemon, except it's pink instead of green. And even the birth chart show a progression of growth of this character through the life. And this shows that you will be messed with. There will always be something outside of you that's trying to throw your energy off. And what you gotta do is you just gotta stick to what you know. You gotta stick to your energy, and you've gotta go through life the way you're supposed to without allowing these external forces from outside to mess with you. It's really, really powerful and interesting how this is happening. The external force never left her. Her whole life, this external force was looking in and observing, was always observing. That's why it's watching the old lady and not focused on the birth, because he could have put it in this window and he could have made it point this way. All right, cool. Really, really sick work. Really, really sick work. This is also one of the more powerful works. There's a war taking place. There's a clash between the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon are clashing in a fight of duality, night versus day. The sun has fires and dragon. The moon uses water, whatever this thing is right here. Whatever that is, you see fire here. Fire representing sun, of course, moon. The moon pours water. This is all explained in Avatar: The Last Airbender, guys. I hope you watched it. I hope you watched it. I hope you didn't miss on that, man. That would be tragic, man. You might not have had a childhood. Again, another theme of duality here. You can see this sheep with the yin and yang sign. In the background, more duality being explored. These two seem like shadows of each other. This one seems to be the more eccentric of the two, and this is the more calm, reserved person. But they both seem to share a certain confidence, and this is what I said about these scenes that somewhat feel like, bro, like I'm not supposed to be seeing this. Why is this goat giving me the death stare, bro? Why is it looking at me like that? Then we have artifacts in the background that we won't understand on a first go, but this is very reminiscent of the last work that we saw with the war between fire and the moon. We have the plants that seem to represent growth in his work. So Chingy33 has managed to build this very, very cool visual language. There's always a clash again of Eastern versus Western, a clash of sun and moon, a clash of people playing shogi on the actual image, wars in the image. There's always something fighting and trying to breathe, and everything just speaks to me in a way that not a lot of art speaks to me when I listen to it. And what's cool is that we're all gonna have our interpretation, so it's never about the interpretation, bro. It's just about, do you feel it? Is it alive? And with Chingy33, bro, all I feel. So yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel about the work of Chingy33. This was a little bit scattered, but that's gonna be the content from now on, dog. I'm just trying to be a human. I'm just trying to engage with you and look at things that really captivate me and move me on a level that I can't even comprehend or articulate to you guys. And the best way I can do it is through these charts and by drawing on them. So that's Chingy33. Subscribe, like, get in the comments. Peace.